Good evening, Osatube. It's the fourth day of Aplastic Anemia and MDS Awareness Week. To keep people aware, half of the proceeds of all books I sell and all art commissions I sell are going to be going to aplastic anemia and MDS research. And I'm uploading a video every single day this week to keep you guys informed about the conditions. Yesterday we talked about what MDS is, and the day before that we talked about what aplastic anemia is. Today, things are going to be a little bit more informal as I tell you guys my personal experience with aplastic anemia. I was diagnosed with aplastic anemia in July of 2009. However, it took about a year for us to realize that I was sick. We chalked my exhaustion up to the fact that I was kind of a lazy kid, I didn't really get enough exercise, and I just needed to treat myself better. And also to the fact that high school was super stressful since I just finished my freshman year. If I was ever not feeling well and we went to the doctor, he never decided to do any tests for aplastic anemia because it's such a rare condition, he never would have expected me to have it. So, how did we find out that I was sick? Well, I kind of fainted in the bathroom. Yeah, no, that was kind of a red flag. I was taken to the hospital and some blood tests were run, and when the results came back, a lot of people were surprised that I was even walking. Apparently, that's how low my blood count was. I spent 3 days in the hospital getting blood transfusions, and then, after that, we were recommended a doctor down in Aurora, Colorado, who specialized with the condition. She gave us our options. The first option being a bone marrow transplant from my sister, assuming that she was a match. It turns out that she wasn't a match to me, so the next option was ATG therapy. ATG stands for anti-thymocyte globulin therapy. Our hope was that my bone marrow cells could heal and could start making new, fresh, good blood cells while my immune system was down, and then I would take medication over the year to rebuild it. We didn't immediately jump on the ATG bandwagon because there was a chance that after a few blood transfusions, my bone marrow would just kick back in on its own and everything would be fine. So for 4 months, I essentially survived on monthly blood transfusions. After that, the doctor said, she's not getting better, we have to do the ATG therapy. So I spent a week in the hospital in Aurora, Colorado, and then we stayed in Colorado for another week to make sure that there were no complications post-procedure. That was an interesting time. It's not really fun to go through immunosuppressive therapy, as other people who have experienced it will probably tell you. It's rough. After we returned home, I was actually quarantined to my house for about a month because I didn't have enough of an immune system to fight off daily infections. After that, I was allowed to go back to school, but I only went for about 4 class periods a day. 6 months later, in the summer, the doctor said that my blood count was so good that they thought we could take me off medication. As I said, I was supposed to be on medication for about a year, so we were kind of surprised that I was getting off medication so early, but we chalked it up to a miracle. So about 3 years pass, we move, I go to a new high school, I finish on time, surprisingly enough. I start community college, and then the summer after my first year at community college, I start to feel my stamina wither away. So we went to the doctor and we checked it out. Our tests unfortunately confirmed that only 10% of my bone marrow was making blood at the time. We might have panicked a little bit, but the doctors decided it would better be safe than sorry. So I went through ATG therapy for the second time over the summer so that I didn't miss any school from the procedure or the quarantine. This time they kept me on medication for the full year to make sure that nothing went wrong. I finally went off medication after my first fall semester at the University of Wyoming, and now, 5 years later, my blood counts are still as high as they've ever been. We contribute the high blood counts to being where I live. We live in a place of very high altitude, and when you live at a higher altitude, your body has to make more blood cells in order to compensate for the thin air. But the point is, for all intents and purposes, I'm cured. As I said, there's not really a cure for aplastic anemia. But I think it's safe to say that from now on, I'm gonna be okay, knock on wood. So that's all I have for you today. Don't forget to purchase a copy of my debut novel, Starforged Orion, on Amazon and in Barnes & Noble's website. As I said, half of all the proceeds will be going to aplastic anemia and MDS research. And if you'd like to, you can always order an art commission from me, because half of the proceeds from that will also go to aplastic anemia and MDS research. Don't forget to check out my Patreon and consider becoming a patron if you want early access to posts, patron-only access to a blog or a Discord server, free art prints, signed copies of my book, or if you want to become a beta reader. And don't forget to check out my other social media sites if you want more content. See ya!